Okay, now we talked about these two teachers and different aspects of it. Now coming towards the logistical aspect of this. So I showed you different tools, learning management system, which is Canvas. I showed you Edpuzzle. I showed you how to use discussion forum. I showed you announcements, assignments, quizzes, different things. But I have not gone into details of how to use that. As a teacher, because as most of us are engineering teachers, we can go ahead and explore different tools and see whether that tool is useful for us or not. And this webinar, I kept it mostly introductory so that at least some framework of how to move from Facebook face to face to online teacher is in a position to identify. Okay. So now talking about tools. So how to take your content or lecture online. So there are different tools to create videos. So for example, if you want to create screencast, what is the meaning of screencast? So I'm presenting this and I'm just recording this screen. Okay, so this is a screencast. There are some tools like Screencast-O-Matic, Camtasia Studio, or OBS Studio. These are the different tools with which you can create videos. Other way is to prepare voiceover presentations. So in PowerPoint as well as in Google Slides, what you can do is you can just run a presentation like you run in front of audience, and you just select the option of voiceover. It will record the voice, and then according to each slide, the voiceover will be there. In a way, it will create at the end as a video. You can export it as a video. Then if you want to if you want to create a video in which teacher is doing board work and giving some explanation, so what you can do is you can use your own smartphone. So if you have board in your home, record it with your smartphone. But the problem is the size of the file is very big. So there is one software which is known as Handbrake. So this Handbrake software you can use to compress the big file size. Okay. You can also create tabletop videos. So if you just search on YouTube tabletop videos, you will be in a position to understand what it is. There are different video editing tools which are open source, which does not require any buying or what. And these are OpenShot and Shortcut. You can explore these tools further. The learning management system which I used is Canvas. There are other options like Google Classroom, Moodle, Edmodo, Schoology. Personally, I liked Canvas as well as Google Classroom because the interface is very easier for teachers. Because if you are a new teacher, you are not familiar with technology, then these two learning management systems I'll prefer or I'll suggest. Then what you can do with this learning management systems, you can share PDF, PPT, videos, reading materials as I showed. You can post assignments, then many more things, discussions, muddy points, all other things you can do. Okay. Now the second aspect, how to interact with students online. So how you will do that with learning management system? So you can create announcements like I did. On this particular day, I'll have a live session. You all can join. Then I have created and posted assignments which like all students have to work together. Then there was some discussion forum to collect muddy point and facilitate different activities like bulletproof deserts. Then there is poll. So for example, I used Mentimeter here. You can use some other polling type of polling software where you can know students' opinions about an issue or get their feedback. So what I asked, whether teacher A's design was good or teacher B's or both. So that is an opinion. That is your understanding. That is a kind of poll. So Mentimeter is one kind of tool that you can use. And the most important thing is at least have live session with your students once in a week. At least once in a week. It is very important. Just giving them content, even organized content and activities are not sufficient. So meeting live is very important so that it will enhance the social presence and the connectedness between teachers, students, and other students will be improved. So there are different tools for that. So we are using Google Meet. There is one tool known as Jitsi, where small group meetings you can hold. It is good for meetings up to 75 participants. They are saying more than 150, but above 75, the problem starts. And Zoom accommodate up to 100 participants in a free version. The most interesting feature is breakout meetings. So you can make different small groups and then ask students to make groups and discuss there. WebEx, Google Meet, Teams, different capacities these tools have. Okay. Now the last one is how to assess students online. So again, you can do it with the same learning management system. Like you can create assessments. For example, multiple choice questions, true or false, open-ended questions. Both formative as well as summative assessments here you can create. So what is the meaning of formative? Like if you remember, I created quiz 1 after video lecture 1. And within the video also, I had some questions. So that is formative assessment, continuous assessment. Whereas summative is nothing but what? At the end of the week, one assimilation quiz I had. So that is nothing but summative assessment. And one more feature in Canvas specifically I saw is you can give customized feedback to the students. If some student is selecting wrong answer, you can give feedback why it is wrong, why some other answer is correct. So that is possible. Then providing feedback to students through discussion forum, then assigning and assessing projects through this particular feature of collaboration in Canvas is possible. Now assessment. So one point I yesterday thought about, like now we are not in the same physical space. We are not conducting labs, and labs are most important aspects of engineering fraternity. So how best to do that? So what you can do is, so you can go through these different resources and you can identify. For example, there is virtual labs by IIT Bombay, virtual labs by MHRD, Oscar by IIT Bombay, and identify whether you can borrow some experiments from here and give it as lab experiments to students. So there are different activities involved in different experiments if you go and explore this particular part. And what you ask them to do is, you ask them to submit a report like you usually do it in lab. What you do, you conduct the experiment, or students conduct the experiments, take readings, calculate something, and then they submit it and get it checked from you. In a similar way, there are also some experiments where students have readings and they can use formula and all to calculate something and write a report out of that. So you can just explore this further. So to summarize today's webinar, so basically there are three essential elements of online learning from this particular framework point of view. I'm saying teaching presence, cognitive presence, and social presence. Even though I'm not talking about this particular community of inquiry framework, but these three aspects are very important, and as a teacher, you should take care of all these aspects. Just don't give content to students. Just don't give videos and some quizzes. Have interaction with your students. Assess them continuously. That are most important aspects. Ask students to collaborate with each other. Then we also I also showed you some tools and technologies to sustain these essential elements, or these three elements. For example, how to use Canvas, how this screencast I used. So I have not showed you how to create, but you can explore it later. I showed you how Edpuzzle video can help in continuous assessment, how virtual labs will help. So as you now know the overview of online teaching. Now here on, I personally feel that you go ahead and explore all these tools and identify what may work better for you, what may not work. Okay. And what I have done is I have uploaded a checklist. So there is one university from Johannesburg, and that university has created some checklist based on these three aspects. So I've showed you like how teaching presence was established, how cognitive presence was established. But there is one specific checklist. Before you start the course, means you are planning the course, and while course is in progress. So what all aspects you have to take into account. So this checklist has a check boxes. You just have it on your PC and keep thinking whether you are taking care of all different aspects. So these are the two links. You can take a pic of this particular thing, and later on you can visit this link and get it downloaded from there. So this link is before_course. So maybe because of this underline underscore is not visible, but this is before_course during_course. Okay. Yeah. Now, thank you very much. So if you have any queries, any questions regarding this webinar that I have delivered, any help regarding the tools, or if you have any suggestions, then in that case, you can mail me on this mail address.